So now I'm going to show you a segment on how to do what's the difference between highlighting, correcting, and cream contouring. So to do this, you'll need the same tools we used in our foundation segment, which is either a kabuki brush or a rounded brush like this. And I highly recommend a beauty blender for this part since we're going to be working around the eyes a lot, and this helps blend in the foundation creams with the other stuff that we're going to go in with. I highly recommend to use a concealer that is your skin tone. You don't want to go in with one that's lighter when you're trying to correct anything or cover up a blemish. If you put a highlighter or a lighter than your normal skin tone concealer on any kind of blemish or a raised blemish, it's just going to draw more attention to it. So we'll get into that with the basics of shadowing and lighting in a little bit, but I highly recommend going and getting some sort of long wear concealer because most of us have a spot or two or sunspot that we want to cover up. And then highlighting, on the other hand, you want to use a few shades lighter, not 4 shades, just a few shades lighter to help highlight, which you will put underneath your eyes and things like that, very minimally. And then we'll do a light cream contour, and then that'll be the segment for cream products that I use, and then we'll go in and start setting things, and I'll show you different segments of the face. Okay, so first I'm going to start out by covering up any kind of blemishes that our foundation didn't cover. I recommend putting on your foundation and then don't put on like 50 coats of it. Just do the foundation and then let the concealer and the other products that we're going to go in with do their job instead of using the foundation as a concealer, which I was totally guilty of, but then I learned to trust it and it works so much better that way. You look less cakey. So I'm going to start out with a shade that is my skin tone and just use a tiny little amount. Kind of get that emulsified a little bit and then pop that on the areas that I have any kind of things that I want to get rid of or cover up or to minimize. I should say minimize, because when it comes to actual face demons, you can't really, if it's a raised blemish, you can't really completely cover it. So, and then I'm going to go in with the brush that we used for our foundation segment and press that in. Again, you don't want to swipe because you'll move the foundation that we just put on. So set that by pressing, stippling motions. And then from here, I also put a little bit of concealer on my smile lines, and I find that it helps reduce them in pictures. So that is the concealer, which is to cover up any kind of blemishes. Now I'm going to take a little cream kit. You can find these on Amazon, but I'm going to mix a little bit of these two together and create our highlight shade. And then I'm going to use a beauty blender to blend some of this out. I just want to put some on the back of my finger. You can also put it on the back of your hand and work from there. And then with makeup, wherever you first touch your face with whatever it is, foundation, blush, powder, whatever, that's where it's going to be the darkest or show up the most. So you just kind of want to lightly touch your face where you want to highlight and kind of diffuse some of the panda eyes or darkness. And then with this, I work a little bit quickly. You want to use the corner of the beauty blender and then press and roll gently. You don't want to swipe too much with this. So press and roll gently. Now I'm going to highlight another section, which is the top of the chin area right here. When you highlight, you want to kind of keep it balanced. So you do under the eyes, you want to do some on the chin, and then a little bit on the forehead, just to kind of give an even highlight throughout the face. Take a beauty blender, blend that out. And now with the chin, since I had a little blemish here, I'm going to be very careful with our highlight. Then the nose, you can do this or not do this, it's personal preference, but I just do the top of the nose highlight. And press and roll. So now that we have concealed any kind of things we want to cover up, highlight things we want to bring out or bring to life, we're going to go in with a little bit of a cream contour, which is totally optional. But since I'm on the cream section of my post foundation look, I thought I'd go ahead and show you. It's been argued that cream contouring actually appears more natural than powder, which I understand if you cake on too much powder, but I don't really see too big of a difference. But I'm going to show you both ways. So this is the little sculptor stick. Any kind of darker than your skin tone by like 4 shades color will work. This is good if you want to go over it with a setting powder. I wouldn't go in with something this warm if it was the last thing on my face, just because when you're contouring, you're trying to mimic shadows, and shadows aren't brown, they're gray, so you want an ashier tone. And that's kind of my #1 pet peeve with contour kits, is so many of them are so warm tone, but that's a different topic. It depends on your skin tone, honestly. If you have darker, deep, medium tones, then you do want kind of a warmer shade. But if you're fair like me to medium skin tone, you want, or neutral skin tone, you want something, generally you want something a little ashier or cool tone browns. So you want to look at your face, and this depends on your face shape, which I will link a little app below if you want to be able to take a picture of yourself with your hair pulled back and tell you where to contour and highlight. It's amazing. Sephora does that. It's really cool. But for my face shape, I have about half of an oval, half of a heart shape face from what we both determined. So I'm kind of a hybrid face. So I want to start and do a little bit on the cheek, but not too much. So from the top of the ear towards the mouth, and I'm doing it kind of thick for dramatization, but you actually want something about that little. So it depends on what you are going for that day. So just a little bit there, and then you want to make it look like, if you have a big forehead, you want to do this more intensely. I don't have very much of a big or small forehead, I don't think. So I'm just going to do the traditional triangle. And how I think of it as these little triangles, when I draw them, the tip will point at this eyebrow, and the tip will point at this part of the eyebrow. So I don't know if that helps you, that's just how I think of it. Then if you want, you can contour the sides of your nose. And then if you don't like the bottom of it, you can even take some here. It'll kind of give that cute little nose that we all want. And then a little bit underneath the bottom lip. This will give the illusion of fuller lips. You want to keep this more for like pictures, because if you look at someone dead on and you don't blend it out, it can look a little weird. Then I do the neckline, because we all want that defined, slender looking neck. And I kind of bring it to here very lightly, and I'm using a very light touch with this. So once you've got that, go in. I like using either one of these is fine, the brush or the beauty blender, but you want to kind of press and roll, if you will, into the hairline, so you don't have that white makeup look too much. But you want to kind of keep it contained to where you put it, because we put these where they need to go for a reason. And again, this is for someone with an oval to heart-shaped face. If you go onto that site, it'll tell you what's best for each face shape, and some require different types of contouring than others, depending on if you have a round face, a diamond face, a heart face, an oval face, an oblong face, a square face. Yeah, so I think that's all of them. But if you want me to do a face shape video, I will get on that. Just leave me a comment, let me know. And with the sides here, you want to blend out towards your face. This will give a lifted look to your face. If you go down too harsh, it'll make your face look shortened and not what you want. Then once you get it up here, really blend that into the ear and the hairline, so there's not any harsh lines. So same thing here, blend upwards. Into the ear and the hairline. And then the neckline you want to blend down. You want to keep it off your actual neck or chin line. You want it right below it. That'll give the illusion of a more distinguished shadow, which will slim your face and give more structure to it. So with contour or shadowing, we are pulling things away from the face. With highlighting, we are bringing it towards the face. I had a hard time with this for a while until I applied it to what I already knew in photography. And don't forget your lower lip. You want to blend that out. And I thought about it, things that I want to bring out towards you, like my face right now, I put lights towards that angle, but the background I want it there, I want it to look nice, but the focus is my face, so I'm trying to bring that out. So I'm going to draw more light to it, which is this kind of like highlighting. And then the background kind of recedes behind me because it's shadows. It's not the most technical of terms. So I try to blend this all out so I don't miss any spot, just kind of going over everywhere and blending that contour in with the rest of our face product. I didn't put any additional foundation, concealer, nothing. Just whatever's left over on my brush. So with the nose, I don't really have a big issue with my nose, but I used to because I just had some issues with my nose. We didn't get along. But I contoured the sides of my nose to make it more slimmer, and then I put a little bit of a highlight on the top of it, very, very top. So contour on the sides very lightly, and you want to keep them straight because if you do them too wide, you'll make your nose look wider. So if you have a wide set nose and you want that to appear slimmer, contouring is a good option to help manipulate that without getting a nose job or anything crazy. Not crazy, but then you want to highlight this part to kind of give that, not pointed nose, but elegant looking point. Yeah. So that is how I conceal, highlight, and cream contour my face, which is my next step in the face process.